What is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Welcome back to the channel. So basically wanted to give you an update on what I'm looking at right now. I really like this tweet by Pentoshi a little while ago. Yeah, I kind of commented on it on Twitter, and basically you could probably see it better here. It's the sign of, like, if you look at others, everything outside the top 10 of crypto market cap, potentially being a little bit sideways, maybe until QT ends, maybe a month or two, and then inching its way back up for potentially a continuation into the end of the year. So probably, and we'll talk about, why I think probably a lot of alts could have hit a nice bottom with the recent kind of capitulation down about a week ago. So that's important, definitely an important thing to talk about. As of right now for Bitcoin, we'll start with Bitcoin. I mean, there's not much really going on. It's just been, if you look at some of the high time frames, just consolidation, pretty neutral. I mean, your money flow is definitely not too good on some of these. Very high money flow in that 2 week. I mean, if you compare it to here, that means, most of this market is over. If you compare it to this one, we got a lot to go. Hopefully it'll be more like, I mean, it's hard to really guesstimate when, maybe it's more like January or February 2017, kind of that area right there where we got, quite a bit more to go upward. And I hope that's what'll probably happen. I think that's what'll probably happen. Hopefully bring us up to maybe not 200. I think that's the absolute highest I could see us going this year. But hopefully, 150 is my big goal by end of year here. 150 would be huge. In terms of short term now, same thing. It's kind of just chopping around. Not too much is going on. Maybe you jump back to 94. Maybe you jump up to 103. It's hard to say. This is just chop city. ETH is looking a little bit more bullish. Let's look at ETH. ETH's more interesting. 10 hour, you kind of got a bull div here. Or is that a true bull div? Yeah, I would say just about, doing it from the wick or whatever. But, some bullish things are happening in the short term on ETH. And you had your nice kind of wick down right there. You tried to retest this point, not quite. Maybe you will retest, 2400. But hopefully if you can jump off of there, hopefully getting back into this range at 3,200 would be very, very good. And that would be a good goal, moving forward here. Look, I mean, this is a big point you really want to keep, that 21. I think you should be able to keep it. And what we're kind of waiting for, you may get, kind of another wave there in the 5-day, but really trigger wave on the weekly. Now, this is a developing situation here. You may not see it really develop until March, but that could be, that could be a big deal. If you look at this one right here, that was in, if we could kind of maybe compare this drop to kind of that drop in 2021 almost. I mean, this was what, a 60% correction, less volatility now, only a 46% correction, but maybe once you get that, then you're kind of home free for a little bit. And this was kind of end of year situation, so maybe that brings us up to 6,000. June, July, it's possible. Definitely possible to hit those points June, July. I'm hoping for new all-time highs a little bit early, maybe end of March, maybe that's a little bit too optimistic, but we'll see what happens. Like that post by Pentoshi, it could be a little bit boring for a couple months here. It could be until we see more developments, more things happen, QT ending, mortgage rates going down, yields going down. Those are things we really want to happen, and we're seeing them start to look like they're going to go down. If we look at like the 10-year, they're starting to come down, but we're not seeing it. It does look pretty bearish there, like it'll kind of roll over on some of these lower time frames, but we're not seeing it majorly yet. So hopefully once we get down to these areas, couple months, March, April, then you really see things start to flutter, if you will, and hopefully getting back down to kind of these areas, maybe 2 points down, about 1.5, 2 points down on your 10-year. That would be enough. That would be cool. And then if we look at ETH versus Bitcoin, it could have bottomed out. I would have more confidence in terms of bottoming out. It's a huge area, huge area. So I would have a little bit more confidence when we finally get the money flow to start coming up on the 2 week. That's what I'm kind of looking for here. So yeah, I mean, that 3 week is a little depressing with the LX, but usually on really high time frames here, like the monthly, the 3 week, when you get that LX, it's usually a bottom signal. So, I mean, even if we do come down a little bit lower, I really don't think you'd come that much lower. And then you're starting to look a little bit better, money flow coming up on some of these. So that's what I'm looking at. Others versus Bitcoin, trying to hold that low right there. I think you might be able to. I mean, the big thing that I've talked about was it was end of February that this really started to go parabolic against Bitcoin. It could be similar. It could be kind of the start, maybe a more gradual situation this time, but maybe that was our low right there, just maybe. And we could kind of continue forward into the end of the year on this. I think where we want to start relatively soon, breaking back above this area right here, this line would be really important. If we look at the same one that, Pentoshi talked about, I'm not paid by Pentoshi or anything. I like that post. Nice reverse head and shoulders. So I don't think you're going to lose that area. Just the same thing on ETH, just hitting off of a really big area. Maybe some consolidation, maybe even into April. Look at how it was sideways there. Maybe into April even. And then jumping up there. And then into second half of this year, really making new highs here. Doing a lot of stuff right there. So yeah. And yeah, ultimately, just a few of these other ones. Really trying to ApeCoin, we really don't want to lose, that kind of 50-cent area. Hopefully you would kind of jump up on some of these to kind of prevent them from going to zero, I should say. Chainlink hitting that point. So yeah, a lot of stuff hitting decent points. Virtuals, that's another new one I've looked at. Really big dip down. Looking good with the money flow. A lot of things looking a little bit better. And then Solana, the kind of that double bottom area, making higher lows. Hopefully doing a jump back up to 265 and by end of month, maybe. So that's what we're looking at. Bitcoin dominance, blood diamond on the 5 hour. I'll take that. Maybe it starts to come down. More money flowing into alts. SUI or whatever. Potentially holding this area, jumping upward. This is what I kind of would think a lot of things would do. This is the trajectory I think a lot of this market would have over the course of this year. Maybe a recovery into May, June, whatever. Get a little summer lull, as we generally do pretty much every damn year. And then final kind of trajectory upward into the end of the year. Maybe 10 bucks or something. So we'll see what happens here. In terms of trading, what would you want to do right now? I kind of like the ETH setup that I was kind of in, I've just been kind of taking a few trades. I was in a short that went into the green a little bit. Now we're starting to look bullish again. I took a small profit there. I did the same thing for a long the other day. Right now, 2 hours to confirm in the 10 hour. I would probably, a little freebie, but I would be looking at something like this, probably pretty low risk, high reward. Be a little bit lenient with that stop loss. 2 to 1 would have a decent shot of playing out here. So yeah, and by the way, guys, if you're interested in trading, check out BYDFI, 10% cashback bonus, no KYC. No VPN required, and you get 10% off your fees. In addition, if you sign up on my link down below for life, same thing, you get 10% off your fees for life. Sign up my link on BloFin, and we're doing the 10% cash back now. It ends February 18th, maximum of 2K futures bonus, first 50 people as well. So if you're interested, check that out. Other thing too, really good opportunity, check out the link down below for Breakout if you want to do prop trading, which essentially is for not that much money. They give you a 100K account keep 90% of the gains for $880. If you could prove to them you could get 10% return before losing 5%. Really good way to learn, I think. It's not you could even do, low amounts. I mean, 10,000, for much lower amounts. Really good way to practice, really good way to learn. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're not willing to put a large amount of money in a trading account. So I think it's a really good idea. I've heard a lot of good things I've had a lot of good experience with Breakout and heard a lot of good things about it. So check it out if you guys are interested. The link down below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.